Hello. I just wanted to share our experience living in a forest environment, in a native environment, and how we've managed to do that while living completely green. That is, no herbicides, no pesticides, anything like that, and how that greatly benefits the animals that live here, but also us in general. So basically, we made this decision when we moved in not to use any of that stuff, just largely because of how harmful it is to everybody involved, but also it's just really not necessary. And the reason I say this is because we've been here for 3 years and we've never so much as even used a bug spray, fly spray, wasp spray, weed killer, anything. And what it's created is this very harmonious, native, natural environment where everything is in balance. And I'll quickly explain that as best as I can. So you probably already know that basically when you poison something at a lower level, it goes up the food chain and is eaten by other things, and it also poisons them. The example probably is perfect example is rats. If you give a rat poison, and then something like an owl might eat it, and then that owl can be poisoned as well. So here's, for example, a wasp nest, several around our home, and we've never sprayed for them. And the reason is they're not doing us any harm. I'm right by it right now, and there's several wasps in there, and they're not coming out and stinging me. They're not, threatening me or anything like that. And so why would I kill them? They're doing all the things that wasps do, including providing us with free, pest control. They like to eat things like spiders, caterpillars, all that kind of stuff. Bugs that we don't want in our house particularly. So yeah, we've never sprayed anything. And what it has created is this environment where we rarely ever get any bugs in our house, even though we live literally in the middle of the forest, surrounded by forest. And I mean, that's kind of weird. Like, we've never had problems with mice or cockroaches or ants. I mean, literally, there's ants everywhere here. There's an ant's nest right there. They're everywhere. And yet we almost never get them in our house. And it's because we don't spray for anything. Because if you spray the ants, you also spray the animals that eat the ants. So I'll just show you these guys over here. These are called ant tigers. They're very cool. They build all these little traps, and an ant comes along and he walks near the trap, falls in, and is eaten by, I think it's called an ant lion actually. And they're everywhere. Anywhere that has got a bit of shelter from the rain, they're all over the place. Now, if we were to spray, herbicides or pesticides, these guys would be affected by that and most likely die. And if they die, then the ant problem goes crazy. And then they come into our house because there's an overabundance of them. So that's never been a problem. It's just one example. We also have armadillos that eat them, and lots of other animals that eat them, because we don't spray for anything, don't discourage anything, and we just let everything exist as it is. That includes things like snakes, frogs, everything that's native, we leave here. And what happens is they just take care of the pest control. We have several snakes, thankfully non-venomous, that live around the house, come out every day, and eat the bugs, eat the excess lizards, eat some frogs, eat some cockroaches, and they keep them out of the house. Now, if we were to freak out and remove them, like our neighbours did, they removed a rat snake, and within a couple of weeks, they were inundated with mice. Completely inundated. Like the mice were literally eating the walls of their barn. And they very much regret removing the rat snake. So I think everything has a purpose, everything is in balance, and if you change that balance, you'll get unexpected consequences. Don't get me wrong, we have, like, this is a China berry tree, this is an invasive species, non-native species, and we have to manage it, but we're not going to poison it, because if we poisoned it, it would affect anything around. For example, frogs, they will take in whatever's in their environment through their skin. If a frog was to go near this after we poison it, it would most likely die. And then the snake that eats it would most likely die as well. So if you could use us as an example, we are humming along. Oh, there's a little tortoise. We are humming along very nicely here. We don't have any issues with bugs in the house. If we occasionally get a spider, or a cockroach or whatever, I'll grab it and put it outside. And I make sure we, don't leave any food out, and we clean up as soon as we can in the evening. Don't leave crumbs around. We don't leave things unsealed. We put them in the fridge. The other thing I wanted to share is when we moved in, this was not very attractive. This was not a very grassy area. I could probably post a photo. It was pretty ugly. And we wanted kind of a grassy meadow area for us to enjoy, but also for the tortoises. And instead of fertilizers and herbicides and, all these things, we just basically took out any debris that wasn't grass. We took out rocks and logs and, pulled some weeds, and then we just mowed it. And what happens with these native grasses, and pretty much any grasses, is that when you mow them, they go, oh, I can't grow up, so I'll grow out. And they soon start to spread. And what this just took was patience. This is not the perfect lawn. It's not like a golf course or something. But with patience, it's grown and it's lovely, and it'll get thicker and nicer. We just keep mowing it. And again, we never put fertilizers on it. And what it means is the tortoise and the deer and the rabbits can all eat it without being harmed. And we can sit on it and lie on it without getting that itchy rash that people get from lying on top of fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, those things. So it's safe for us as well. If you have any questions about creating a garden and a home that's completely free of, poisons and pesticides and things, please just ask. I'd be happy to help out. I'd be happy to educate and inform and give any advice and answer any questions. Thank you for listening.